In this video, I'm gonna take you on a journey to my thought process where I logically decide what game to make. Before deciding on that, you should learn to be realistic. I mean really realistic. You need to recognize your limitations and weaknesses. As a solo game dev having an irrelevant job, my main limitation is time. To overcome this limitation, I must choose simpler projects. And I must go for ideas which can be automated from a design standpoint. Let me explain. Simpler doesn't necessarily mean that it's a short mini game which takes the player 15 minutes to finish it. It means that it's simpler for the developer to create the game. You can put really simple mechanics into a never-ending playfield and keep the player engaged for months and even years. Take Fruit Ninja as an example. It is a simple game to make, but the game feel and the mechanics make the player come back again and again even for months. On the other hand, the way the fruits are fired up is automated, and the developer has just tweaked the chance parameters to make the game feel the best. Now, ideas like Fruit Ninja are brilliant. It's hard to come up with an original idea like that, isn't it? But you can always borrow ideas and make them unique in your own way. To do so, you first need to clearly describe the general aspects of your game. For me, it goes like this. Due to the time limitation, it must have fast to make graphics. The levels must be procedurally generated to reduce the dev time even more. And I want it to be addictive. There are a million ways to make a game addictive. Fun gameplay, rewarding systems through upgrading your things, and adventurous exploration are the ones I'm going for. The important point is that I haven't yet decided on what to make. The aspects I mentioned can be applied to any genre. So the second step is to choose what game to borrow from. But you must choose a simple, boring one. The famous successful ones don't have much room for new ideas. They are already perfect. After mentally tweaking several games in different genres, I decided to go for Asteroids. Here are the reasons. It's such a boring game and has plenty of room for improvements. It can have simple graphics, maybe even neon ones, and it would still look cool. In a space game, you can bring in any fictional item nobody has ever thought of. Fast-paced shooters are easy to make, but they can be really addictive if you get the game feel right. Procedurally filling space with items is technically far easier than generating an island full of rocks, trees, animals, etc. And of course, I've always liked to create a space shooter game. Mentally playing different versions of my modified Asteroids, I came up with this idea. To keep the player engaged, the spaceship parts should be upgradable and even replaceable. This is not enough though, that's why I'll put a space station at the center, where all the text, upgrades, resources, and other stuff would be stored. The space city itself will also be modularized into upgradable parts and can be expanded. This will give the player a clear reason on why he's actually playing the game. Based on the distance between the player and the station, the space would be divided into levels. The further the player rises, the higher and more challenging the level is. Each level will have new missions and items to be explored. You need different types of resources to upgrade your base and your ship. Who knows what dangers lie deep inside the foggy nebulas, waiting for the brave pilot to be conqueror. What I just did is a mental process. Consider it to be an exercise, making you more creative. You don't have to do it only when you want to make a game. Just do it to enhance your creativity. The space game I just described is what I actually want to make, and this was the very first devlog for that. Subscribe and hit the bell because I'm gonna discuss other aspects of game design as I proceed in creating the project. You don't want to miss that, do you?